Hello Exiles, Threatlord here. So this is the first currency farming strategy that I've been doing for this league, and it is just a simple Maven Witness rushing Guardian bosses and then doing the invitation to get the Awakened Gems, and yeah, Maven Chisels, Maven Writs, all of that fun stuff. Other people, from what I've seen on YouTube, other people don't really want to do this for some reason. I like this one a lot, and since not many people is doing it, you're gonna get quite a big value out of those Awakened Gems and all of that fun stuff. And it is not anything super hard. It's, if you're coming from PoE 2, these Guardian bosses are nothing compared to stuff like Citadel bosses, so you don't have to worry about that much. If you comfortably kill tier 16 bosses in just, I don't know, couple of seconds, you're gonna have no problem doing these. With that said, let's jump into the strategy. So as I said in the intro, we're gonna be running Guardian bosses, and it doesn't really matter if you're going to choose Shaper Guardian bosses or Elder Guardian bosses. Both of them are good in their own ways, but for this I right now prioritize Shaper Guardian bosses because the map layouts are just linear and way faster than Elder Guardian bosses. But the thing with Elder Guardian bosses is they made a change, I think, last league. You can now Horizon Orb these, which means that if you, for example, have Eradicator, you can Horizon Orb it into a different one. And also the base map changes based on the current rotation of tier 15, 14, and 16 maps. So you can even change the map layout if you don't want a particular one. Let's say I don't want Phantasmagoria, I can change it to Latau if I want to, because this is the baseline tier 15 on the Atlas. And you can check the baseline maps on the Atlas by removing all your void stones, and you can see what maps are tier 15. So as you can see, Arena, Sulfur, Phantasmagoria, Plateau, and Underground River are tier 15s, and these are the only maps that you can Horizon Orb into. And the same goes for tier 14s, and the same goes for tier 16s. And the same goes for Shaper Guardian maps. If you have, for example, lots of Chimera maps, you can just change them into different ones. However, in the end, these maps are not based on the Atlas. These are always the same. These are the Forge of the Phoenix, Hydra, and Minotaur, and the Chimera. And you can change these. For example, I don't want Phoenix, I'm gonna change it and Horizon Orb until I hit, for example, Minotaur. Now I'm unlucky, yeah, with the last one I hit Minotaur. So you can also do that. And in terms of buying of these maps, with the addition of asynchronous trade, it is super easy and you get them in absolute no time by just going on trade, and just, you don't even have to go into bulk exchange, you just go in, type in the map that you desire, and thanks to Horizon Orbs, you don't need to buy all of the different ones. You can do it yourself, right? And as you can see on the second click, I found actually a person that is selling them in bulk, and you're gonna find these in no time, trust me. But there's one thing that you really need to be careful about, because there are scammers. There are these scammers that list bulk of these. They sort them exactly like this, for example, and they're gonna list one for 3C, 3C, and now all of a sudden, oh, one divine, because they expect you go ta and buy them all and don't even read the prices. So they're gonna do this to scam you, right? As you can see, 3C, 3C, 33, 33, 33, 333C. As you can see, this is what people are doing. This is, yeah, 3 divines. Ha! Yeah, that would be terrible, right? So just be careful about this. Please take your time, take it slow, and read it. Alright, so when you've got your desired bulk of maps, let's say I want to just test run 4 Guardian maps, I've got these, right? Then I would highly recommend, if you're just starting out, this is pretty much all can go with couple of Scarabs. So what you can do, I would highly recommend using the Alchemy Orb and Scour instead of just rerolling with Chaos Orbs, and using the Regex website for PoE. This is pretty simple. You just click map modifiers here on the Regex, and then you select modifiers that you don't want. For example, as you can see here, I was pretty strict on mine. Even though I made some upgrades, I still have the old Regex, And I was pretty strict on mine because I didn't want to bother with any modifiers that would be dangerous for my build, since it was the start of the league, still kinda is. And then after you select your modifiers that you don't want, or even the ones that you want actually, if there's one, you just click copy, and after you click copy, you just paste it in here, and it's gonna show you, it's gonna highlight the maps that actually don't have the modifiers that you don't want. And then if some maps are gray or something, you just can put them away like this, and then do the alchemy and scour, alchemy and scour, alchemy and scour until you hit it, and as you can see, boom, got it. Or alternatively, you can just spam chaos orbs until you hit it, of course. But that's up to you. Last thing you can do with the maps, of course, you can corrupt them, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. You can use chisels on these, and good thing about these is these guardian maps, any guardian maps actually, always require you to use only one chisel. Each chisel gives 5% quality to the map, 5% quality to the map, and by quality you're getting quantity. So yeah, you can use chisels if you want, but it is not required. And this, as I said, comes for every single guardian map. As you can see, 20% maximum quality, one chisel, 20% quality for all of the guardian maps. Alright, so what's the other juice we're using on these maps to keep it just fast-paced, right? I'm using Horn Scarab of Nemesis. These are pretty cheap. I was just buying them today for 2C each, got a bunch of them. And these Scarabs of Adversaries, these were not even 1C each. These were like 0.9C each. So also pretty cheap to keep it low investment early game farming strategy. And what these are gonna do, basically this is gonna give all rare monsters in the map 2 additional modifiers, and 2 additional modifiers is just more loot. And also, thanks to our Atlas skill tree, increased chance to drop Scarabs for rare monsters. And these just simply put 8 more monsters to the map, because these are limited to 2. So the setup looks like this. This is the setup that I'm running. Pretty cheap and pretty fast. And also along this setup, we're gonna be running the heist craft for 5C on the map device, and that's all the investment. So all in all, it's 5C, 7C with this Scarab, let's say 9C with these two, and 3C for each of these maps. So 12C invested per map, and that's nothing. Believe me, you're gonna get way more than that. Alright, and the maps themselves, they are pretty simple. There's nothing you need to really worry about. Yep, sorry about my loot filter, I was too lazy to update it. I'm still using some sort of low never sync filter. But yeah, really nothing you need to worry about. You don't need any extraordinarily good clear or something, because these Shaper Guardian maps are just linear, which makes it really comfy for even the melee characters. And yeah, I almost forgot to mention, the breach is actually quite a big part of this strategy. Don't skip breaches. For the sake of this video, I'm going to skip it, of course, but don't skip breaches. Breaches are good. They give you a lot of juice, not just the blood what is it, blood graft? Graft blood? Yeah, graft blood. But also they give you the tree juice, right? Those womb gifts and all of that. And they also spawn a lot of, and I mean a lot of, rare monsters, and those rare monsters are gonna be affected by the Atlas skill tree notable that gives monsters increased chance to drop Scarabs based on how many modifiers they have. And they also, the breach monsters are also going to get affected by those Nemesis Scarabs, which give them just more modifiers. So in this way it makes it very synergetic. And as you can see, those heist chests, whatever they are called, I don't know, those take next to no, those add next to no time into the map. I mean you just click them and collect the loot, and that's it. So pretty much the only thing that sort of soaks up the time of the map is the breach itself. But since the breach is so good, so fun to do, and even profitable, and it is in every map just for free, I don't see a world where you could justify not doing it. But if you just don't like it or something, then just don't do it. I mean, it's still your game. Who am I to decide what you should do? This is just what I did. And yeah, I might actually die here because I don't see where the monsters are. The map seems to be having some damaging modifiers, but yeah. The maps, as I said, are pretty damn simple. You just go in and click stuff, kill stuff, and then click the loot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you're wondering what build, well, why won't it die? And what's this build? What the... I don't know it, but okay. Yeah, as you can see, pretty simple. If you're wondering what the build I'm playing here is, the link for that is gonna be in the description. It's my League starter build. Now for the Atlas skill tree that we're gonna be using in this strategy, it looks like this. It's all revolving around just being fast, then not adding pretty much any time into the map, because we care about running those Maven Witness bosses as fast as possible and just getting them down as fast as possible so we can run those invitations. So we're adding things like Heist. The whole investment for Heist is 5C, the map device craft, and Heist is great because Heist doesn't have any Scarabs, and the map device craft for Heist doesn't get... Since there's no Scarabs for Heist, there's no increased chance for the Scarabs found to be Heist Scarabs, just like the other mechanics do have for their own Scarabs. But yeah, we actually want that because the second thing we're prioritizing on the skill tree are actually Scarab drops, and we're taking pretty much all the wheels, even the small nodes on the skill tree for increased Scarab drop chance, because this way, with all the unique bosses, thanks to a node like this or these, we're gonna get a lot of Scarabs, and thanks to all those rare monsters, we're gonna get even more Scarabs. So yeah, if you would compare it into like tier 16.5 or tier 17 Scarab farming, of course it's nothing, but it is nice addition for this farm. And at the beginning of the league, like this time, the Scarabs, even the common Scarabs, are quite expensive, and you can make a big bang out of those, especially if, let's say, one Cloister Scarabs is like 10C and they are pretty common, and one Divine is 100C. You get the point. Even the small Scarabs, even the common Scarabs have a big value. And yeah, then, I mean, it is all about destructive play. So pretty much the only thing important in these maps to do, kill as many monsters as possible. And yeah, once there's like at maximum 50 monsters in the map remaining, I believe, then you always spawn 3 additional bosses, which means each map has basically 4 bosses, including the main one, and all of those can just drop these Guardian maps and all of sorts of Scarabs and all of that stuff. So it's just extra loot. And even in this league, where the Guardian maps and the Synthesis maps really are not expensive, they are just not expensive this league. For example, the Synthesis maps used to cost like pretty much for the past leagues, it was stable for them to cost like 20C. Now they're at 6 or 5C each, but doesn't really matter. It's still extra loot we get, and we're gonna do the bosses anyways. And what like there's not really that many better things to do to keep the speed. And if we're already fighting 4 bosses at once, why not just give them some extra chance for extra maps? And of course, I'm taking this to have a chance to drop us more of those memory maps or originator maps that you can later on run or sell. But yeah, this is the skill tree. I'm prioritizing, in terms of Scarabs, I'm currently prioritizing Scarabs cartography ones, Harbinger, Ambush, and Essence on these wheels, because these are the really the valuable ones. And yeah, Torment Scarabs, Beyond Scarabs, Titanic Scarabs, Anarchy, and Domination. Domination has one really good Scarab, but yeah, it's quite rare, so I didn't pick up Domination. And yeah, these are the ones I'm prioritizing, and I'm banning only 2 kinds of Scarabs. The Abyss ones, they are just worthless, right? And Expedition ones, those I'm also banning even when they have some value in the early game. I think for me personally, it's better to just ban them and get the other Scarabs, because the more Scarabs you ban, the more likely you are to actually convert into the Scarabs you want. So That's why I'm doing it. And this is pretty much the skill tree, pretty simple and revolving around just speed. Alright, and this is the strat pretty much. As I said, it's pretty simple, pretty quick. I would say one of the better league start strategies that I did. I like it quite a lot, especially with this build. And yeah, if you're going to end up running this strategy, tell me how do you feel about it. Tell me if you've got any good drops. Tell me in the comments. And as I said, if you're curious about the build I was running, it's gonna be in this video's description. But with that said, thank you very much for watching, Exiles, and see you in the next one.